All right, so let's see. We're going to jump in here and start going over the watch list for this morning. All right, so right now we've got about, 10, 12 minutes to the bell. So we've got time to put together the watch list, and I've already been kind of watching a couple of these stocks this morning. We'll preface the watch list today by saying yesterday was one of the biggest days of this year in terms of momentum, with SES squeezing from $8 low all the way up to $26 a share. And my entry was at 9. I am, a little disappointed I didn't do better on it, but I finished up 14 grand yesterday. So SES was solid. And then BIMI, sympathy momentum. This one was on fire. This is one of the hottest charts I've seen, that we had sustained momentum from 950 all the way up here, 950 in the morning, all the way to 2:15 in the afternoon before this first big series of red candles. And the stock went up about 500% from $2 to $10 a share, which was incredible. So my obvious question today is, will this momentum continue? We have BIMI after hours, which hit a high of, 1315. So this is looking very similar to what SES did coming into yesterday, where on Friday it made a big move. After hours squeezed up to 9, was consolidating at the highs. The bell rang, it sold off. But when that thing broke over the VWAP, it exploded. So if BIMI out of the gates sells off, that would match the pattern perfectly. If it then does a red to green move and a break of VWAP, I'm going to be trying to capitalize on that opportunity. A break through the high of 13 and then off towards 15, 16, 17, and who knows how much higher it goes. The only thing with BIMI is that we also have WWR this morning. So WWR is, I would say, sympathy momentum. It's they've just completed. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right stuff. WWR. They've got the first shipment of graphite concrete. Now, guys, what they don't tell you about graphite concrete is that it's really heavy. So this is pretty big stuff here. They just got a shipment of concrete. So I am I'm interested, but I'm a little skeptical. I'm not sure whether or not this is actually going to go crazy. I mean, it's one of these things that at a certain point, the fundamental catalyst becomes kind of insignificant as stocks are just experiencing this, technical kind of breakout. Graphite concentrate. So in any case, I think it's interesting. We'll see what happens with it. The pre-market high right now is 715. All right. So, it's moving higher. It's obviously got some momentum behind it. It's up 140%. So I think, we'll have to be a little mindful of the higher level of risk. It's already had its first pullback right here. So WWR, that's a maybe. We'll see what happens. We've got the high here of 715, a little pullback. BIMI right down here, kind of selling off at the moment. Might watch that more for a red to green move than actually, a gap and go setup. I don't think I would do a gap and go on it. I would probably focus on red to green. And SES, I don't think that one's going to be in play. So yeah, that's kind of right now. WWR, I think, is going to be the one that a lot of traders are watching. I'm just not sure that it's going to be, it's already got 2 million shares of volume and it's up so much. We'll see how it does. All right, so that's those two. Also on the scans, I'm going to keep a chart up on SES, but I don't think it's going to do a whole lot today. I think it's kind of coming back down a little bit. I think what's really great though is that obviously we've got some serious momentum. So that for me is just great to see. Yeah, let me pull up PSTV. Popped up here. So the high is 345. We'll see if that does something. It's a possibility. So I'm going to put up, let's see, WWR, BIMI, and SES. Those are the three that I'm going to focus on. PSTV, I'll put up on the fourth window just as a maybe. Going down the scans. Yep, there's BIMI up 11%. RLMD, let me look at that one. Okay. I mean, that is a big move. I'm not sure why it's not on my scans. Is it? Just look for a second. RLMD. No float. I see there's no float listed in trade ideas. I'm not sure what the float is on that one, but at this price range, it's going to be harder to manage risk. So I'll probably leave that one alone for right now. Now, a reminder, those of you guys who watched the recap yesterday, I don't think I mentioned, but I set up a coupon code SES and BIMI, 25% off chat room and trading simulator subscriptions. All right, so those of you guys on Facebook, YouTube, you can use the BIMI coupon code if you'd like. I'll put this here. If you guys want to join us for the rest of the month, or you want to join for the full year, whatever the case is. Okay, so we're sitting right now with about 3.5 minutes to the bell. WWR has a pre-market high now of 743. So I think it's the obvious one to be watching out of the gates. So I'll be watching WWR. I'll keep my eye on BIMI, and I will also watch PSTV since that one's up 34% and has a tiny float. So those are the ones to keep an eye on. PSTV is a somewhat recent reverse split. It's obviously not as extended as WWR, starting to take off here, and it's got news, a $4.6 million reimbursement payment. So PSTV, WWR, BIMI, we'll wait until maybe 9:45 and see if it does a break of VWAP type of setup. I think it's going to sell off out of the gates and then curl up. All right, that coupon code only until tonight. All right, so that's the game plan here. I'm going to shut off the feed on YouTube, Facebook. We're going to start trading in the chat room as soon as the bell rings. So the thing here with WWR is WWR is now up 152%. It's 1.6 million share float with over 2 million shares of pre-market volume. So although I can consider a quick trade on it out of the gates, I have to be mindful of the fact that it's up a lot. So I'm not going to be able to position myself with a low risk entry ultimately until it gives us our first clean pullback and sort of, the pattern resets a little bit. So the lowest risk setup on WWR would probably be a red to green move to let it pull back. So the pre-market high is 78. So I'm going to watch to see how much it dips. And then what I'll probably try to do is buy the dip on WWR if we get a nice size dip. I do think this is a time to be more aggressive if we continue to see the follow through momentum that we've been seeing. PSTV, the pre-market high is 45, so that's an important spot to watch as well. All right, so let's see what this does here. So I want to see a dip. So I'm taking a starter, but only 5,000 shares as a starter because I really want to see a dip. Over $8 I would add. So watch right here, a little bit of a dip. This might dip down to 7. Right now it's kind of holding for a second. So I stopped out down 700. I'm going to let it dip a little bit more and then I can add back. If it does dip to like 675, I want to be sure to get out of the way. Watching. Okay, I'm back in. What I'm expecting here is a break over 8. There, we got that break of 8. 810 on the ask. 820. I'm taking some profit through the breakout. My average is 771. Stopped out of the rest of it for right now at 8. $3,198 of profit. I think that was the right move. I'm going to keep an eye on it, let it pull back a little bit. PSTV, I'm going to take a starter of here at 17, and over 45 is where I would add on PSTV. So watch PSTV. I stopped out of it. That needed to work really like instantly, and it's not. So I'm going to just be out of it. My stop was back at 15. Or 17 actually. I made $50 on it, but I'll just come back to it. It really needed to hold that level. The problem here with multiple stocks hitting the scanners, it can be a little bit confusing which one is the one to focus on. High a day on BIMI is 1125. High on WWR is 37, 837. WWR dipping down. BIMI, nice, John. 1115, 1125, 1140. Very nice on that one. I'll keep an eye on BIMI. Halt level is 1246. ARTW is moving a little bit higher, but I don't see news on it. So I'm not feeling good about trading that without, well, I just don't know. Does it have a headline? I might be missing something. I see a 20,000 share bid at 47. The high is 61. BIMI right down here, I'll keep an eye on, but look at that drop to 1050. That's a good reminder on BIMI, the level of risk on this in this price range, that, you know, in a fraction of a second you can get a 50-cent drop. RKDA, that's just jumping on the bandwagon, but it's a biosciences stock. Right now, we've been seeing the energy resource. Well, I don't know. WWR, is that not energy? I have to look at it for a second. Hang on. I was assuming it was, but uranium, radium. Okay, so yeah, that graphite makes sense. Concentrate. So BIMI back down to 934. WWR bouncing right here off the VWAP. The low is 657. TWMC hitting the scans. I don't see news on it. So I'm looking for a news catalyst. So WWR over 730. I'm going to take a starter of WWR here. I'm long at 725, and I'm going to add on this because I think what's going to happen is this is going to break through $8 and give us that red to green move. There we go. So I'm just going to hold this right now on WWR. and over, I'm just going to hold it. I'll try to add into a halt right around maybe $9. So WWR watching over 850 here, and then just first pullback I want to add, so I'm going to watch around 880. So watching it up here, 50, 55, 70, 75. I want to see it break. Took a little profit there, and I'm just going to hold the rest. The high is 88. So now I'm just going to hold my position, and I'll set a stop at $8. I'm up 10,000 on WWR. My average is 740. So maybe I'll set my stop at 790, because I want to give it a chance. If it holds this level and this goes up to 15, 16, if this is the one, I really want to try to hold as long as I can. So I'm just going to set a stop at, let's say, profit stop on the remaining 2,200 shares at 775. And if it flushes down, stops me out, so be it. If it rips, I'll be holding it. My only regret is that I wasn't able to buy more shares. The problem on this is that it's not marginable. So I was ready to buy 20,000 shares, but I could only buy 10,000 because there's no margin on this stock today. So even with my account size, margin is a consideration. So the high on WWR, and I'll switch here, so I've got the 1 minute chart up here. We've got right now 1 minute micro pullback. The high is 888. So obviously 888 is the logical breakout spot at this point. But it could chop around in this area. So my indicator to buy this, and I'm just going to watch here. I might switch. I might just, let's see if I can. I'm just going to switch to my IRA account. I'll just leave that 2,200 shares as it is, and I'll just switch and trade in my IRA account for a bit here. I'm going to watch this pullback. We've got the high of 88. So I'm just going to watch this for a breakout trade over 88. So if I wasn't already in it, I'd be watching 88 for the breakout. So that way it doesn't screw up the position that I'm currently holding. So I'm in 99, 97, 93. I kind of want to see it break over. It didn't break right away. So I sold for $511 of profit. $511 is not bad. Now I got to switch back to my other account because I'm still holding it at 740 in the other account with a stop at 775. So look at that. I'm not going to sell in the drop. I'm going to let it pop back up. And I sold on the ask at 70. So up 11,000 in my main account, 500 in my IRA. So ARTW, you know, it's just that since it doesn't have news, I'm not sure. You know, it's obviously moving a little bit. I just think people are probably going to short it and it's going to come back down. I'll just keep an eye on it. WWR, that was the dramatic false breakout. I was still able to make 500 on the false breakout because I got out quick. And I would have made more money if I sold my full 2,000 share position. But if this had squeezed to 925, 950, then I'd be holding 2,000 shares from 740 and I would just be totally in the driver's seat. And today's a day where I can afford to leave a little on the table for that bigger move. So ARTW, I'm going to take a starter of it for the break of 3. So I'm long ARTW here since it's breaking 3. And now 325, 330, watch 340 and 350 for continuation. Over 330 is where I would look to add. So you've got a little seller there at 308. There's 325, 310. So my approach on this, well, a little bit of a dip there. I was expecting more of an immediate break, so I stopped out with a $900 loss on it. For the break of 3, I thought it looked good, but take that quick loss and move on to the next one. High is 320. WWR. Keep $9 on watch. TC2000 is less expensive and it's really just as good. WWR is at the VWAP. So I'm looking for the next strong stock. It wasn't ARTW, wasn't PSTV. WWR is the best one so far today for me. High a day is 9. Let's switch to just 1 minute charts at this time of day. BIMI, I'm long. This one, the circuit breaker halt level is at 1080. And so I'm looking at this as breaking potentially through VWAP. This is the same setup that I traded yesterday on SES and did really well on. So watch BIMI up here, 1025 over 1050 for me would be another add. I want to see that break